Good morning. Good morning, Journey Within Tribe. How are you feeling today? So glad that you are here. We are going to begin in just a minute. We'll give people a second to get on, and I hope you enjoyed yesterday learning that second secret. If you haven't had a chance to listen, I'm probably going to give you a spoiler alert here and tell you that that second E is for energy. So, today, what we're going to do is an energy balancing practice. We are going to focus on the chakras. And what the chakras are these basically just wheels of energy that go from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of your head. Good morning. And so we are going to work to balance these energy centers so that energy is really flowing through us more evenly. And you know, you think about why do we feel different after a yoga class? Any guesses? Like why do you feel different after you go to a yoga class? And of course there's many answers. But why don't you just think about that for a minute? Why do we feel different after we practice yoga? And for a lot of us, we feel different because our energy is different, right? You came in one way and then you leave just feeling completely different. And it's because you've shifted your energy. And we talked a lot about yesterday just this idea of are we causing, is it a cause and effect, like if this happens then this happens, that kind of model in our world? Or do you believe that your energy is influencing and it's causing an effect on the world around you? And so today we're going to practice moving through these energy centers. It'll be more of a flow class today, but I will give options. And those of you that have more advanced practices, you know who you are. Take things when they feel good, just add on wherever you want to. Um, as I said the last time we practiced yoga, please listen to your body. If something I'm guiding you toward isn't feeling good, I can't see you. And it's a lovely thing because it gives you permission to just show up on your mat as always. Always have that permission. Just show up on our mat and not worry about anybody or anything else, but also just be mindful that you're not taking it too far. Okay? So we are going to start in a child's pose today. If you are on this morning, I want you to tell me, how is your energy right now? It's morning, so hopefully it's still doing okay. But I'd love to hear, how is your energy this morning? Before you hit your child's pose, just type in real quick how your energy is feeling, and then come back towards the back of your mat. You're probably not going to be tapping on that screen again, hopefully. You're staying nice and present. Your big toes are going to touch, and we're going to extend the arms out and bring the third eye down to the floor. We've got some of you on this morning. 17. Woohoo! That's good. That's awesome. So I want you to find a nice, easy position in your child's pose. If you need a blanket to put it under the backs of your knees, if this bothers your knees and you had a towel or a blanket, that'll be helpful, okay? You can also just stay up on your shins or on your knees with your hips over your knees, and that'll take any pressure off your knees. We call that puppy pose. So if you need to, take a different variation there. So for this class, we're going to talk about how to bring our energy up so that it's flowing more fluidly. And what I want you to understand is that energy is available to us at any time, right? Think about when you're in love or you're excited, how your energy is vibrant and seems endless. And when you're tired or exhausted, it feels very drained. But have you ever been tired or drained and then you got a phone call with like some really amazing news and all of a sudden your energy shifted? That energy is always there. It's just learning how we can tap into it. And I like to think of energy very simply, that in any given moment, we're doing one of two things. We are allowing our energy or we are resisting it. We are allowing energy to flow or we are resisting it. So as you start back in child's pose, your third eye, your forehead is connected down onto the mat. We're starting in this very earthy way. And the very first energy center is in the pelvic floor, right at the perineum, and it's called your root chakra. The color is red, and it's the element of earth. And it's all about this sense of feeling safe, feeling grounded, feeling supported. So I want you to take a moment and set an intention of what drew you to the mat today. Maybe your intention is how you want your energy to flow or how you want to show up today. Good. And then very slowly, we're going to inhale, come up, tabletop. You can separate your shins a little bit, and we're going to curl into a cow pose. So letting the back arch and pulling the heart through. And I want you to notice the earth, right? What's touching the earth right now? Your shins, the top of your feet. And I just want you to stay in this pose for a moment. Shoulders draw out of the ears. And then we're going to flow here. Exhale, round the back. And push yourself back towards the child's pose with the forehead coming towards the floor. And every time something is connecting, inhale, come forward into the earth. You're just having a sense of awareness there. Your hands, your feet. Exhale, your knees. And in a moment, your third eye, rounding back. Inhale. Even noticing right now that root chakra, which is in the base of the pelvic floor, initiate this movement into the cat, moving from that pelvic floor region. So right now, as you come up, think pelvic floor is starting to lift you up. Groins go back, back arches, heart opens, and then pelvic floor, drop it down, round your back. Very good. Let's come up to all fours, tabletop position, and step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Now, if you have blocks, you're welcome. I'm going to probably grab it in a minute, but put your hands on a block if you have it, and don't worry if you don't, okay? So your foot is on the outside of your right arm, but you're going to keep that right knee hugging into the right shoulder, and we're going to do the same type of movement with the upper body. So lift your heart, inhale. And then exhale, round the back, but keep the front knee bent. You're just going to maybe notice the stretch starting to shift into a different region. Inhale. I'm going to take hands actually back to the ground just so I can feel the earth right now. And you can be on fingertips. Exhale. And one more time, breathe in. And you can look up, but just be mindful that you're not throwing the head back. Exhale. Good. Come to neutral now. And if you can go a little deeper, I'm going to heel toe my foot just a hair more to the right. And if you can come down, now you might need that block here because we're just starting off, so the hips may feel a little tight. You can come down onto the forearms. And if you're feeling okay there, excuse me, keep your left forearm down. Reach your right arm towards the upper left corner, and maybe you'll go off your mat to the left. Let your head bow down. It's a sign of just honoring that earth energy. Feeling the breath moving from the base of the pelvic floor. Very good. And then bring the hands back to the block or to the ground and push into the hands back off that lunge a bit and step the right foot back. And now you're in tabletop and pause for a moment. Woo! Good morning. That's what my hips are saying. Left foot, step it to the outside of your left hand. All right. Now remember, you can be on the block or sans block, no block. Cat and cow, gaze forward. Inhale, shoulders out of the ears. And exhale. Inhale, heart opens, lift. And what you're going to find in the practice today, exhale, there's many, many movements, that could go with these different energy centers. Inhale, is that there's, how do I say it? Exhale, round. There's probably going to feel like there's more tension in the first 4 chakras than in the last 3. Inhale, come to neutral. And as we get higher up, we're going to come to the forearms. There's less doing. It's more being, okay? Now you can keep the forearms down just like this or reach that left one over towards the right. Bow your forehead down. Try to release the tension in your neck. So this first chakra about this sense of safety. It's also developing the first space where we really develop a relationship with ourself. Whether or not we feel at home with ourself is this first chakra. And as I say that, right away we might feel like, might need to work right there, right? Building that relationship. Hands back underneath you, back off a little bit so you can sweep that left foot back a little bit more easily. And now pause in your tabletop. Take a moment, breathe in, breathe out. Very good. Now you're going to tuck both your toes. You're going to send your hips towards your heels so they're hovering just off your knees. And then hover your knees. You're not quite in down dog. You're just hovering those knees. And then push forward toward a plank. Breathe in. Do you feel that power? Now bend the knees so they hover and push back towards the heels. Feel the element of the earth supporting you. And then spring forward. Inhale. Bend the knees. Shift back. Exhale. Push forward. Inhale. Bend the knees. Exhale. Sit back. One more time. Inhale. Forward. Exhale, back into that hover. Now slowly start to straighten your legs. Where is that coming from? So feel the sitting bones starting to lift, the base of the pelvic floor starting to lift. Push into the hands, connect into, we have a lot of energy centers actually in the hands and the feet, gripping into the mat with your 10 finger pads. And then lift your heels, noticing the energy from the earth drawing up through the heels, and walk forward towards the top of your mat, coming to a standing forward bend. Now, sometimes you'll see me turn on my mat. You don't need to turn. I'm just, when I can face you, I will. Inhale, your feet about hip width apart, and exhale, fold. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Relax your head and neck. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Fold. Feel your feet, the strength in the feet, and reverse your swan dive. Take your arms out wide and inhale, reach all the way up. Palms connect overhead, and then exhale. Hands to your heart. Samastitihi. Now release your arms by your sides. This is called Tadasana. This is mountain pose. Turn your palms forward. Close your eyes for a moment. Noticing that very first energy center, low in the pelvic floor. Maybe already feeling a little bit more awareness in the lower half of the body. And remember your intention. Now inhale, reach your arms up, breathe in. Now hands to the heart, take your feet a hair wider, and we're going to come to a malasana, a yogi squat. Very good pose to do in the morning, and also a very good pose just to kind of access that deep pelvic floor. So we've got a big flexion in your hip crease. If you need that blanket or a towel under those heels, if they don't drop all the way down, grab that or a block. Good. Now take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Now you're going to take your left hand, hold the front of your right shin, and bring your right forearm on your right knee. And you're just going to take a little twist and turn to the right. Now, if you can lean back enough, you could even straighten that arm. Go for it. Mine feels better with the forearm on the leg. And then back to center. Breathe in. And then the other way. You're going to hold your front of your left shin, kind of work your right shoulder, nestle it in front of that leg. And then left forearm, you're kind of pushing the knee away. And at the same time, you're hugging with the hands. So you're creating those 2 different energies, one hugging in, one pushing away, and turning the belly into that space. And take another breath. Feel your breath consistently feeling as though you are allowing it. Back to center. Breathe in. Hands to the earth. Forward fold. Spin those heels out. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Let's move into that second energy center. Right leg's going to step back. Back knee's going to go down to the earth. Inhale, reach up. So now we're going to move up into the pelvis, sacrum area. Second chakra is called your svadhisthana. Okay. Lift up through the low belly. The color is orange. So move into the element of water. Hands to the earth. Straighten that front leg and flex your front toes. Ooh. Good. Now we'll flow between the two, nice and earthy. Bend that front leg, and yet the element of water moving with the breath. Arms reach up. Pad the knee if you need to on that back leg. Exhale and Ardha Hanuman, half split. So this is taking pleasure in one's own abode, is what the meaning of this energy center is. Exhale, peel back. And it's where our creativity initiates, is right here. Also, kind of our sensuality. Exhale, being able to be in relationships with others. One more time. Inhale. Reach up. Exhale. Peel back. Good. Now just walk your hands forward. Keep them on the earth. Breathe in. And extend your left leg back, straight behind you. Turn the toes so they point straight down towards the floor. And then bend the knee like you've got something on the sole of your foot. Lift the inner thigh up. And then hug toward the belly. Take the knee out to the left. Tip the knee back. And then send it back down. So you're making a circle. Draw it toward you, to the left, behind you, and back. And one more time. And then you're going to switch the direction. Yeah. So one way will feel probably a little bit more fluid than the other. Pad that right knee if you need it. Good. And then you're going to take that left leg straight back. Inhale. And you're going to take a down dog kick. Now the leg's already up. Exhale. Now step the left foot forward in between your hands. Left foot forward. I want you to scoot your right wrist so it's slightly in front of your right shoulder. And we're going to roll to the outer edge of the back foot, and you're going to come to the outer edge and turn the toes of your front foot. So we start to get a hip opener. You're going to reach the top arm over the ear as you breathe in. And then exhale, lower the hips and reach the top arm back, turn the palm up. Yep. Inhale, lift. Ooh. Exhale, lower. Two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Now fluid with the breath. One more. Exhale. Now if you're tighter in the hip, you just scoot your front foot back towards the back of your mat more. Inhale, reach the top hand up, set it down, and step back, downward facing dog. All right, there's, in my body, a substantial difference between the right and left. You may notice some difference, big or small, just noticing and paying attention. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth and let it go. Like water flowing, breath is moving. One more. Let it go. Creating almost that oceanic sound in the back of the throat as you let the breath go. And then lift your heels. Inhale and slowly walk forward, or you could jump to the top of your mat. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold and bow. Keep feeling the earth energy. So as we move through the chakras, you're going to still notice them. Arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Second side, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, now our left foot will step back and our back knee is going to drop down. Pad that knee if you need to. I like to untuck the toes. You can keep them tucked. Inhale, reach up, low lunge. So you're going to push into that front heel, lift the low belly, lift the sternum, arms reach up. And then exhale, Ardha Hanuman. Pull your hips back over that back knee. Dig your front heel still into the ground and wrap the outer right hip back, bringing the left hip forward. So flowing breath by breath. We're about 4 more times. Breathe in. Exhale. Inhale. This chakra helps us tap into being able to say yes a little bit more. We kind of go back and forth. I feel like that's a big paradox, right? Like saying yes to life, but yet having boundaries and knowing when to say no. So you have to really listen. And that's why aligning these energy centers will help you know when is the right time to say yes. Good. Now walk yourself forward. Keep the hands on the ground. The left knee is going to stay down this time. The right leg will go back to a tabletop with the right leg extending back. Turn the toes down towards the floor. Lift your low belly back. And as you exhale, draw right knee towards chest. Take the right knee out to the right. It's like you're peeing on a fire hydrant. Tip the right knee back and then bring it forward. But why would you do such a thing, right? Exhale, chest to the right, back and around. Good. Chest to the right, back and around. You know what to do. We're going the other way. Up, around. So it doesn't need to feel so robotic. Eventually it may start to feel a little bit more fluid. This time you'll take the leg back, toes pointing down. Now tuck your left toes and take it into a down dog kick. Extend the right leg up into the air. And our right foot's going to step all the way forward and through between the hands. Good. Now you're going to roll to the outer edge of that back foot. Now I'm on the blade of the foot. My foot is angled slightly. Now if I'm tighter, I'm going to scooch my right foot back more. Your left wrist slightly in front of that left shoulder and roll to the outer edge of your back foot. We call this Soma Chandrasana. So reach the top arm over your head as you breathe in, and then exhale, lower the hips as you breathe out. Keep the palm up, reach the arm back. Very good. Inhale, lift, squeeze your feet together. Whew. Exhale, lower. 2 more times. There was 4. Inhale, exhale, inhale. If you're like, oh my goodness, you're doing everything right. Exhale, lower. Good. Reach the arm over. Palm down. Step that right foot back. Exhale. Take a breath in through your nose. Feel it moving through the base of the spine up towards your pelvic floor, and then exhale, up towards your low belly. And do it again. Inhale. We call that prana in yoga, Chinese medicine. We move energy. Inhale, lifting the heels. They call it the chi. Bend the knees, and you can step, you can jump, top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold and forward fold. Reverse your swan dive. Breathe in. Hands to the heart. Breathe out. Now, some of you might be excited because we haven't actually done a chaturanga yet, if you know what that is. How you feeling about that? We've gotten nice and warm. You ready now? Inhale, reach up. What's a chaturanga? I want one. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. Could you kind of name that movie that was sort of coming through? Exhale, step back. Chaturanga. So first one, I'm going to put the knees down so I can show you. Shift your heart forward. Excuse me. And you're going to bend the elbows so the elbows go straight back and your shoulders aren't going to lower any more than your elbows. And then you'll untuck the toes. And I'm going to go to cobra on this first one. My thighs are down. My hands are down and my feet are down. Some of you, thighs are up. Up dog, thighs are up. Make sure your shoulders aren't coming up to the ears. I do love an earring, but it's not a good look. Exhale back, downward facing dog in yoga. Right leg reaches up. Exhale, right foot forward. A little bit more for the hip. Back heel's going to seal down to the ground. We're going to come up to a warrior 2. Inhale, cartwheel up. Good. Bend into that front leg. Now exhale, side angle. You can take your forearm to your thigh or your hand all the way down towards the floor, inside or outside that foot. And then we're going to reverse the warrior. We're going to keep flowing here. Back hand down the back leg. Now, if you have low back pain, I want you to reach the arm more up instead of back. Exhale back, warrior two. Good. And then you're going to cartwheel through the arms, through the floor, and you're going to switch your direction. So we're going to come up and around to the other side, So warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Warrior, reverse your warrior. Inhale. And I think I said warrior two last time, but it is side angle. Back to side angle. And then you're going to cartwheel in between the legs. So go back around. Inhale up, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Forearm to thigh or hand to floor. Reverse your warrior. Breathe in. Side angle. Exhale. Cartwheel through and around, coming to warrior two at the back. Inhale. Side angle. Now you might start to go deeper. I'm going to start taking my hand to the floor. Reverse your warrior. Good. Exhale, side angle. One more time through each side. Warrior two. Breathe in. Side angle. Reverse your warrior. Inhale. Side angle. Exhale. Cartwheeling through. Last time to the back. Warrior two. Side angle. Reverse. Inhale. Side angle. Cartwheel all the way back to the front, yogis. Back heel lifts up. Plank pose. Breathe in. How are we doing? All right. We at home with ourselves? We feeling some creativity turning on? Embodying your awesomeness? All right, I want you to bring your feet together. You can always take your knees down here. We're going to twist your torso, your lower half to the right, and tap your outer left knee down towards the ground. And then inhale, center. Now, twist lower half left, tap outer right knee. So if you have your knees down, what I want you to do is I want you to just do hip dips. So dip your hips right and dip your hips left. The rest of you, outer right knee, back to center, inhale. Outer left knee. We are waking up now. The third chakra, the third energy center. This is about fire. Inhale, the color is yellow. Exhale. Inhale. To the left. We got one more each side. You can do this. To the right. Inhale. Last one. Tap outer left. Inhale. And sit down on the knees. Puppy pose. Walk your arms forward. Forehead down. Keep the hips over the knees. Stretch out those shoulders. So you've made it to the third chakra. The Manipura is what they call it. Right at the navel center, the solar plexus region. And this is about how we metabolize and how we digest really all life experiences. And really the heart of our health of our body really starts churning in this third chakra. What can get tricky with this chakra, take 2 more breaths, is it's a power for good. It's your chakra for confidence. And when it becomes in excess, it can become manipulation. It can become a power that wants to control everything. Some people may come to mind, right? And so it's very important that we balance this chakra out. Take one last breath. Because in a very real way, it's stepping into all those things. Let's bring your hands back up. You're going to cross your ankles. We're going to come on the back. Remember all those things you wrote down on your bucket list, like the things that you want to go after, the dreams that you have? That's where this one starts to really come from. It's the creativity that you had the idea, and then we light the fire. So let's light the fire. Take your hands behind your head. Lift your knees, feet up off the floor. We're going to do some bicycles. Now, if you have back pain, I want you to not do the legs, just do the upper half. Okay? So you're going to lift your chest, tip right elbow towards left knee, and as you do, extend your right leg till it hovers. And then back to center. And then exhale, twist twist right. Center. Exhale. Good thing there's only 2 sides. The great news is if you go to the wrong side first, you only have one other side to go to. So every time you twist, that's your exhale. Center, center, twist. You can go any speed you'd like. You're here for about 30 more seconds. So I want you to stay with it. And if that means your head has to come down and you just do legs, or your legs stay and you just do upper body, then I want you to do that. Okay? Stay with us. Got about 10 seconds. Reach through that leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Set your feet to the floor. Pause for a moment. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now I want you to cross your right knee over your left knee. Pick your left foot up off the floor. Now I want you to squeeze your inner thighs together. Now what's amazing about all these energy centers is you can't obviously always see energy, but you can feel energy from people, right? You people when they're awesome, when they're not. I want you to take your right hand. So we're going to tap into the internal fire that you really, you can't see us moving, but a lot is happening. You take your right hand just above your knee, left hand on top of that. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Excuse me. And you're going to draw your thighs towards you and at the same time push your hands out. So you're drawing thighs towards you, pushing thighs out. And you're holding for 15 seconds. And your body doesn't even know where to begin because it's quivering in all kinds of places. 3, 2, and 1. Whew. And I don't know what lights up more there, my inner thighs or my core. Holy buckets. All right, switch sides. Left leg crosses over. Other hand on top. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Draw your belly button back. Push hands into thighs and thighs into hands. Now the great part is you could totally cheat here. I mean, I have no idea. No one else knows. No one doesn't really look like you're doing a whole heck of a lot, right? But you could be. Thighs to hands, hands to thighs. 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Okay, we got one more each side. Take a breath. Right leg over. Switch your hands again. Squeeze your inner thighs. 15 seconds. Go. Go. How do we get through anything? One at a time, right? How do you take a super big thing that you're wanting to do and break it down? You break it down into little things, one at a time. 3, 2, and 1. Let that go. Oh, last one. And then you're like, I didn't think I could do 4, but then you just did 4, and you did 4 just one at a time. That's what we did. Here we go. Don't think about it too much. Squeeze your inner thighs, hands into thighs, thighs into hands. Squeeze, squeeze. 3, 2, and 1. Very good. All right, stretch your arms overhead. I want you to hook your thumbs. Stretch your legs out straight. Point your feet or flex your feet, whichever gives you a greater stretch. Hug your knees in. Let's start to rock and roll. Remember your good old friend Plank? Frank's brother. Okay, cross your feet. Step it back. Plank pose. Plank pose. Take a full breath. Breathe in and lower. Exhale. Now up dog or cobra. Give yourself an extra moment here. Stretch your belly. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. Breath in. Now I want you to open your mouth, stick your tongue out and sigh it out. Yep, do it again. Inhale. Open your mouth, lion's breath. Stick your tongue out and look almost towards your third eye center. One more time. Breathe in. Exhale. Let's take the right leg up into the air. Inhale. Bend that knee for a moment. Let that hip open. Drop the right heel towards your left glute and lift your left armpit. Re-straighten the legs, square it off. Exhale, right foot's going to step forward and through. We're going to come up to a high lunge. You want your feet, make sure they're hip width apart on your mat so you're not on a tightrope. And if you need to, you can always put your back knee down here. All right, here we go. Breath in, the arms are reaching up towards the sky. Now you're going to bend the back leg and draw your left knee to your chest so you come to balance. Your arms are by your side. So it's all that core that you just established, drawing in to make this transition happen. And then go back. Big heart forward, leg back, arms reach up. Inhale. Exhale, push off. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Leg goes back. Breathe in. Arms reach up. Now hands to prayer. Lean forward. We're going to twist. Left elbow to the outside of your right leg. Push your palms in together. If you want to open your arms to fly, you can. Take another 2 breaths. Sink a little deeper in that right leg. Wrap the outer right hip back. And then hands release down to the ground. Now take a breath in and start to straighten your front leg in a long pyramid pose. We don't think often of our core in a forward fold, but the depth really is coming from deep in the belly, releasing our breath and the capacity to surrender and go a little deeper is coming from the belly. Bend into that front leg, inhale, and step back, plank pose, exhale. Now you can go to down dog, you could skip this, otherwise chaturanga, you could handstand hop out. Some of you, if you want to hop, do some hops there, you sure could. Exhale back, downward facing dog. And our left leg will go up, breathe in. Bend the knee, open up that hip. Lift your right armpit and let your right heel get heavy. Straighten the leg, inhale, turn the toes down, the hips square to the floor. Left foot steps forward, make sure it's hip width apart, so step it wider if you need to. Inhale, reach the arms up, crescent lunge. Bend that back leg, find something to focus on that doesn't move, and then exhale, knee to chest. Send it back, breathe in, arms up, exhale. One more time, breathe in. Exhale. Big step back, lunge, inhale. Hands to prayer, exhale. Lean your heart forward. Hook your right elbow to the outside of your left leg. Crescent twist. You're doing great. Push the palms in. If you want to open your arms up to fly, you could do that. So many options, right, in the yoga practice. One more breath, a little deeper in that left leg. And then hands to the ground. Straighten your front leg. Exhale, long pyramid. Breathing in, root chakra, second chakra, third chakra. Feel that breath moving up. And then exhale, fold. I'm keeping my back heel up. It's a long pyramid pose. Bend into that left leg. You can just step back. You could scoot your left foot halfway back. Take those handstand hops if you did on the first side. You can always skip vinyasa. It just looks like that. You skip it. And take 3 breaths here. Breathe in. Let it go. You can rest anytime you need to. Drop to child's pose, right where we started. It's always there for you. Let it go. We're moving into the 4th chakra, the Anahata chakra. Anahata means unstruck or unbroken. It's this space of love and compassion. Let's take the right leg up into the air, breathe in. And step your right foot to the outside of your right hand as you breathe out. Drop your back knee down. Left hand down, you're going to reach back and catch right hand to left foot. So twisted monkey, a little peek at starting to open up that heart a little bit more, getting into our thigh. Your legs have been in a lot of warriors and crescents, giving them a chance to stretch. Very good. And then let go of that foot. Step your right leg back, plank pose. Inhale. Lower all the way to the belly. Forehead to the floor. Interlace your hands behind your back, untuck your toes, and stretch one leg back at a time. Coming up to Shalabhasana, lift your legs, lift your chest. So this is the meeting point between the lower 3 chakras and the upper 3. Our capacity to be able to open up, to really think of allowing, right? In any moment, we are either resisting or we are allowing. Take one more breath. And then forehead down. And we don't often think about it like this, but sometimes hands next to you, push back to downward facing dog, any way you'd like to get there. And then left leg will go up, breathe in. Left foot to the outside of the hand. Sometimes when we close ourselves off, back knee down, left hand, reach back for right foot. Maybe we've been hurt in the past, and so it's our instinct just to close. But when you close to bad things, it also means you close to sometimes a lot of the good things that are trying to come into your life as well. Same thing that we do when we numb ourselves, right? When we numb with social media. We talked about our energy suckers yesterday, and we numb with drinking, or we numb with all kinds of things, food. But when you numb one thing, you numb everything. Take another breath, and then let it go. All right, stepping back, back knee up, plank pose, breathe in. All the way to the belly, exhale. Forehead down, untuck your toes, interlace your other index finger on top, stretch one leg back and the other leg back, and then everything lifts except the pelvis. Lift up. Spread your toes. Try to point your kneecaps down towards the floor. And now as you inhale, I want you to take your feet about as wide as your mat. Notice your body come up a little higher. Try to keep it, and exhale, squeeze your feet together. And do that 3 more times. Inhale. Feet go about as wide as your mat. Exhale, squeeze legs together. 2 more. Exhale, squeeze. Last time, inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Forehead down. Hands by your sides. Tuck your toes. Any way you like, get back. Downward facing dog or child's pose. Remember, child's pose, it's always there for you. Take a couple breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. This chakra is also about forgiveness. Forgiveness both for ourselves, but also for people who have hurt us, to be able to open up that energy again. It's about our patience. And also the love and connection, when we talked about the human needs, our love and connection. Good. Come down to sit on your shins, Vajrasana. Now, if you can't sit on your shins, you can sit on a block just for a moment. Turn your palms up. And take your left hand over your heart and your right hand over that. And take a moment just to feel your own heartbeat. Take a moment to remember your intention. And then gently let your hands come down. We're going to come onto our back for a moment. So come onto your back. And if you have a block, I want you to have it near you. So we're coming into the throat chakra here a little bit. So grab the block if you have it near you. We're not going to use it just yet. We're going to come into bridge pose. So feet are going to be hip width apart. When you reach for your heels, hopefully you can kind of touch them with your hands depending on your arm length here. And you're going to push into your feet. Feet are parallel, and inhale, lift up. So what we're doing now is taking the energy from the heart and letting it drain towards the throat. So you're going to work your upper arms in toward each other. This is the Vishuddha chakra, chakra of purification. And through this fifth chakra, we think about our speech, the way that we speak to ourselves, the way that we speak in the world, the way we show up as our authentic self and use our voice. If it's too much to hold bridge, you can always slide a block and do a supported bridge. Take another breath. Good, and then release your clasp. Slowly let it come down. Good. Now, if you have a full shoulder stand practice and you want to take that, I just please know that this isn't the day to try that practice. If you have a comfortable shoulder stand practice, I'm going to take a supported shoulder stand. So I'm going to grab a block, push down into both the feet, lift the hips up, and we're just going to keep this inversions. Inversions are really good for these last three chakras. And because I can't see all of you, I'm going to do more mellow forms of them. But those of you that have practices where you practice full shoulder stand and other poses, I'll give you opportunities here in a moment. So place the block underneath your sacrum. Hug one knee into your chest and the other knee, and then extend your legs up. Now you could use books here as well, or you could just do a legs up the wall if you have a wall handy. Just put your legs up the wall. We're going to take a few breaths here. Now, if you're practicing this later, I encourage you to take more time than we're going to have right now on this live broadcast, I guess you could call it. Stay longer if you can. And then bend your knees, set one foot to the floor and the other foot to the floor. Let's meet back, pausing for a moment in the bridge with the block under you. And then gently lift your hips. Take your hands to slide the block out and begin to set your sacrum back down. Pausing here on the back. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And then roll to your right side. Inhale, come up to seated for a moment. Come up to seated, any comfortable position. And take a breath in. Take a breath out. Now, one of the best things that you can really do for this throat chakra is mantra work, chanting. And so we're going to use the sound Om, which we typically do at the end of class, but we're going to do it in the middle here just 3 times. And it doesn't have to be loud. And if you can't do it, people are sleeping, things like that, you can just sort of even hum so you hear and feel a sound in your throat. It helps to wake up that and clear the energy in your third chakra. You've heard my chakra getting a little congested as we've even practiced today. So just great to start moving energy through there. So breathe in through your nose. Sigh it out your mouth. Let it go. Inhale. And just do it 3 times on your own. Good. And then gently blink your eyes open. You're going to keep your left leg in, and we're going to take the right leg out, moving from the fifth here to the sixth. Now again, if you have a block, I want you to grab it. So we're coming up to the third eye center. And so what we're going to do is actually some poses where we're just trying to anchor this third eye down. We're going to do some hip openers, but anchoring that third eye just to tap into the Ajna chakra, the sixth chakra. So left leg is in, right leg is straight. I want you to turn your hands towards your right straight leg. So left hand on the inside, right hand on the outside. And inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale, begin to fold forward. And if you can, get your block in it. If you're tight, you might need two. You may not be able to get it all the way down. And don't worry, no worries if you can't. You might be able to stack your fists on one block. That might help. And we're just going to take a few moments here. So that fifth chakra, through the throat, starting to purify just the words we speak. I always love thinking of the gates of speech, right? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Is it truthful? And is it the right time? And then that wisdom starts to infiltrate up to the sixth chakra, the summoning, the calling forth. It's our command center. It governs our pituitary and our pineal glands. And this is where our insight comes. And it's the kind of knowledge that we tap into here that isn't really through words. It's meditation a lot of times where insight will start to come in. It doesn't require any outer sources. But there's this inner gateway of just deeper understanding and knowing. Very good. And then inhale, slowly come up. And then take that right leg, right shin, and I want you to cross it in front of your left shin. So we're in what's called a Sukhasana, an easy seat with the feet underneath. Now, if you're very open here, I invite you to take, if you like, a double pigeon, where your right shin, your feet are flexed, the sole of your feet is lining up with the outer edges of your leg, and the top leg. I'm going to just take Sukhasana. And then I'm going to grab my block again so we can let that third eye connect and bring that third eye down. Let yourself notice the gap, the space between when you breathe in and when you breathe out. Almost imagining the breath drawing in through the nostrils, coming towards your midbrain, kind of where that behind the third chakra would be. I'm sorry, the sixth. And then inhale, come back up. Get my chakras confused. Left leg will go out, right leg will stay in. Janu Shirshasana variation. Slide your block over to the left. Right hand to the inside. You can sit on a blanket here if you need it. Left hand to the outside. Spine nice and tall. Flex your left foot and begin to fold forward. Now again, if you're tighter, don't worry about it if you can't get to the block, or if you don't have a block, it's okay. If you're very flexible, you may get forehead down towards shin. Do whatever is feeling good in your body. If you've ever had those experiences where you almost can feel like you are taking a bird's eye view of a situation, you just have that clarity. It comes from that sixth chakra. very slow begin to come up. When we feel clear, that's this chakra, left shin in front of right shin, or double pigeon. And then lifting up through the chest and exhale, folding forward. The energy centers move up through the rainbow. The red where we started, the orange in the second, the yellow in the belly, the green in the heart, the blue in the throat, kind of a violet third eye. And then we're going to be coming to basically, it's like all colors, right? The seventh chakra. Starting to come all the way back up. Take a moment and pause. And as I said, as we get up to these chakras, inversions are one of the ways. Now the crown chakra right at the top of the head, the 1,000 petal. Remember, one of our tapping points is the top of the head, right? And meeting point of many meridians there. So headstand. So those of you that, if you did have a headstand practice, I invite you, you could take that right now. But for the rest of us, we're going to take what's called rabbit pose, okay? So I'm going to trust you if you have a headstand Shirshasana practice. So rabbit pose, you're going to take hold, sit back on your heels. You're going to take hold of your heels. You're going to curl in, bringing your forehead towards your knees, and then lift your hips up. Keep holding the heels, coming right onto the crown, the top of the head. So your back is very rounded in this rabbit shape. So this is that state, the spinal chakra of the remembrance that we are connected to all things. The unity, and also this all-knowing. And take one more breath. Where you may be overworking in your body, let that go. Good. And then sit back on the heels. Come up sitting on the shins. Take a moment. Now, if you're in headstand, take child's pose. Let's just end with a nice downward facing dog. I want you to take your hands a little wider and your feet a little wider. And if you did have a block, you could let that block rest right on the crown. So kind of find the point. I like to kind of find the corner of the block and just kind of the remembrance, because this in itself is an inversion, downward facing dog. I've got my hands a little wider. I've turned my hands out slightly, get a little more openness in my shoulders. You can even take your feet a little bit wider, get nice and spacious. Inversion is any time where the head is lower than the heart. Take one more breath. Very good. And then drop down to the knees. Cross your ankles. Let's come all the way down onto the back. Stretch your legs out straight. Good. So find yourself on your back. I want you to hug your knees in towards your chest. This seventh chakra, 1,000 petals, and the idea is as that our energy channels open up, that this lotus, it opens, right? And if you know real lotuses, they grow right out of the mud, the deep darkness, and they emerge, and then they open beautifully and sit right on the top of the water. these 7 energy centers in any given moment, we may be blocking the energy or we may be allowing it. And energy can get stuck. And so what we do these practices for is you're hugging your knees, just rocking a little side to side. Take a happy baby pose. Flex your feet, open up the feet. Hold the outer edges of your feet with your hands. Rock side to side. Your arms are on the insides. As we do these practices to help us open. And Rumi has a great quote. He says, "Why do you stay in prison when the door is wide open?" And that's what I feel like. I think of energy like a river and how the river is always flowing, but sometimes rocks get stuck and it blocks the river. And although the river is still flowing, it's still there and present, it just gets a little stuck. And so these practices help us move the rocks out of the way, right? Whatever is blocking our energy. Bring your legs together. Wrap your forearms around your shins. And if there's any final pose, yogis, I'm going to end with a fish pose, just one more for that crown chakra. But if you have any neck injuries, please go back to bridge pose. Okay, you could do a bridge pose again. Let your legs extend out. You're going to have your legs flat on the floor. You're going to lift your hips a little bit. My palms are facing down. My thumbs are going to touch underneath. And I'm going to push into the forearms, lift my heart, and let the crown come to the top of the mat. So it's a really nice pose for these last 3 chakras, the 5th, 6th, and 7th, opening up the throat. It's also lifting the heart, the third eye, and touching that top chakra. Now I'm not putting any weight in my head. My head is just lightly touching. Take one more breath. And then exhale, chin to chest, pushing into those forearms. Turn your palms up. Let your feet open up. Close your eyes. And I'm going to just kind of visually take you through those 7 centers for a moment as you lay in Shavasana, just with a grounding affirmation for each one. As your eyes close, visualizing that low pelvic floor. Maybe you see the color red and you say to yourself, I am grounded. I am safe. And you move up to the 2nd chakra, color orange in the pelvis. I am creative. Moving up to the 3rd in the belly, the color yellow. I am empowered. And up to the heart, in the color green. I am love. To the throat. I am truthful. To your 3rd eye. I am clear. To the crown. I am. No labels. I am. I am connected to all things. So you can use that last mantra as you are in Shavasana, just saying, I am every breath. If you'd prefer the Sanskrit words, you can say so, hum. So on the inhale, hum on the exhale. Allow your breath to deepen a little bit more. Just like a river flows, there is a sense of steadiness as you begin to pay attention to your breathing. Moving your fingers a little bit and your toes, waking up those energy centers that are in your feet and your hands. And reach your arms up over your head. Bend your knees. Let's roll to our right side. Begin to bring your body back upright to an easy seat. Palms, bring them together, starting in what we call an Anjali Mudra. And then keep your thumbs and your pinkies connected and open the 3 middle fingers into the Lotus Mudra. This is the heart opening mudra, your thumbs touching right at your sternum. And as we leave the mat today, we think about allowing, just as that lotus, your fingers opened, we think about the ways in which we, in any moment, are either doing one of 2 things. We are allowing energy or we are resisting it. We are allowing the moment, we are accepting the moment, or we are resisting it. So to be able to be one with life, Eckhart Tolle talks about being one with life is being one with the moment. Sounds so simple, not so easy always. So as you step off your mat today, may you remember your heart's intention. May we practice opening our heart and opening our energy to each other and remembering that it is our own energy that begins to influence and shift the world around us through our thoughts, through our words, through our actions. All of those have an energetic vibration to them. So as you close your lotus and you draw your thumbs up to your third eye, I thank you, yogis, so much for being here for this morning practice. It was my delight to be with you. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. I would love to hear which of these energy centers did you feel maybe a connection to in some way, or you felt a release, or maybe you felt a tightness and you're like, I need to work on that one. Which was the one that you were like, that's that's some things I need to work around with right there. And share it. Let's hear, because I bet we're going to get a wide array of what resonated with each of you, just depending on your life and your life experiences and where you are in this moment. So notice, how do you feel now? You finished your practice. Like, how do you feel now compared to the end of the beginning of the practice? So thank you, friends. I will see you tomorrow night. We get to meditate together. You're going to really love this on energy, and it's at 5 o'clock. So 5 o'clock meditation tomorrow night. I will see you there.